Why, hello there. You are listening to Starfield Raw.
You're dark.
This is episode number 69.
Noise!
I couldn't do it without
man.
laughing. I couldn't. I am Joe the Wigit. I am your host, along with my fellow co-host, the space trucker that everyone loves, Mr. Kilo.
That's me. And I've been doing some research today because I was looking for something a little special for episode 69. So
And you mean special.
So I got very special. So I got some pickup lines for you guys, all right? Are you space? Because I want to beam my particles through you.
Yeah, that one's kind of for the other ones.
That was so good. You like that one? Oh, How about are you a space pirate? Because your booty is out of this world. That one's a good one.
That one I love.
I like that one.
We change it to
okay.
Crimson Fleet. No, yeah.
Babe, you are deep space fine.
God.
Oh, wow.
And you gotta have something.
Rook would have liked that one.
There's has to be at least 15 different ones for Uranus.
Uranus. How about okay? After tonight, there will only be 7 planets in our solar space because I will smash Uranus.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Pull together, professionals here. Okay,
Starfield
come
Raw
on.
After Dark tonight.
Starfield Raw After Dark. That is ridiculous. The internet is a wondrous place. I do love
You
it.
hear a screaming. Want to hear a screaming sound effect after that joke?
Yeah, I could probably
Smash
pull
my
that off.
anus.
Yeah, definitely.
There we go. I like
And
that.
for those who didn't know, that was the sultry voice of Dr. Tiki.
Dr. Tiki, very sultry. Perfect companion for our podcast tonight.
Right?
That's right, kids. 2 packs of Marlboros a day will get you this voice.
Hashtag life goals.
So before we get into our play, because I did something I didn't think I was going to do and got heavily involved in the game because of it.
Okay.
I have quite a bit to talk about on that end. And there had the new release, Bethesda pulled off a new little mini DLC for like a Doom crossover, Hell's Gate.
Yep.
And that's all over the news.
Yep, I played that. We're definitely going to be talking about that one.
So I'm not going to say anything about it until you play it, because I wasn't interested in it, only because I didn't like the idea of the rewards. The suit looks cool, but I don't care about the looks. I don't use shotguns, and I don't use bladed weapons.
Right.
So
Well, I mean, it's definitely, an appeal to a certain nostalgia as far as, we're kind of pretty close. We're actually only a couple years apart as far as age is concerned, and Doom was a big part of my early years of video gaming as like as a teenager anyways.
Anyone around our age is a big part of it.
Yeah. And it was I don't know, for me, I think it was Nixter and Drusillas both posted about it in the Discord, and I'm like, all right, I'm on it. And it was a lot of fun. I really liked it.
So people who don't know is that Doom is, now over the last 20 years is owned by Bethesda. So that kind of crossover, not surprising.
Yeah.
Especially when they have a new Doom game coming out in the near future.
Yep. Okay, I gotta stop looking at the dirty space pickup lines.
Yeah, man. Unless you want to throw some in every now and then, I'm cool.
I mean, I probably will, but I got it. We're trying to focus here, and I'm just cracking up inside the whole time.
We're doing a serious show, man.
Yeah, it's very, very serious.
What I want to get into tonight, before we get into our plays and before we get into your awesome mods of the week, is a story I came across today from Game Rant. Normally, they're one of the more reputable, and I use that term so loosely, game publications. Yeah. And they're hit and miss. Some of them, they got great articles. Other times, they're just kind of why. And this is one of those why ones. And they released an article about the economy of Starfield and complaining about it. In particular, the in-game economy. Basically calling it extremely unbalanced because there's so many sources, so many ways you can get currency that it piles and piles up and you have hundreds of millions of credits and nowhere to spend it. Yeah, honestly, though, that can happen in any single game that has a very open-ended ending to the game. There's no real ending to Starfield. So, yeah, of course, if you're going to spend, one of our famous, I don't know, I call him Starfield Raw royalty, Mossy, who hasn't gone to the Unity and has put in, 1,000 hours in one playthrough?
Yeah.
There's no way in the world you're not going to have way more credits or currency that you know what to do with.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's, like you said, that's any game. Actually, the first thing that pops into my head is, Red Dead Redemption 2. By the time you get done with that, you sell everything. I mean, it's kind of thing. I don't understand what they're complaining about. This is common.
I remember playing Grand Theft Auto 5 and even an online version. I was really big into online when it first came out, before it got full of cheaters and stuff like that.
Yeah, when it was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I played it so much that it was easy for me to buy the best penthouse in the entire city. I had 3 different 10-car garages full of all the cars that I bought, not just stole, but and I had more money than I knew what to do with.
Right.
That to me is just kind of a mute point. But on the flip side, it doesn't hurt to say, hey, you know what, Bethesda? I want space stations.
Okay.
There's your money sink right there.
Yeah.
And if they make it to where it costs a fortune to build them, which would make perfect sense. Like, you would have to be a pod millionaire to even think about building one.
Right.
It would be amazing because you have to worry about life support. You have to worry about all the different things, the docks, and you could set it to where potentially a medium-sized space station could cost you 10 to 30 million credits to do, and it would be reasonable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it would be very much an in-game thing.
Yeah. And I know that's something that people do want. It's in the mods. It's out there. We talked about the dumb tax mod.
Yeah.
But there's also other ones. There's like, utilities and how to manage your ship expenses, like fuel and supplies and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, on the mod side, it shows that it is something that people want. But on the other side of the vanilla side of the game, this is not like it's something we haven't seen before in other games. If I fired up Cyberpunk right now, I'm loaded. I mean,
I bet.
I just played it enough, So this article seems kind of pointless, and it's just taking another jab. That's all it's really doing.
Yeah, it is. It's like they were running out of things to talk about, so they said, you know what? I have too much credits. But what other things do you think that could possibly be a good like in-game credit sink in a game like this? Because I know that building stuff like outposts mostly is just all resources. You don't really pay much credits for that.
Right.
So the only real thing that is a major sink for credits is shipbuilding.
Shipbuilding. I mean, there is some stuff like apartments and things, but I mean, even those you're talking like 250,000.
Yeah.
When you're rolling 7-8 figures, that's not a whole lot.
The most expensive ship I ever built, top of the line beast, was just over 1 million credits.
Okay, see, that's not bad either. So, I mean, aside from, that's a good question. Starfield would be great. That would be good.
I've been begging for space stations since like episode 3 of the show.
Right.
Or with 6 or something like that. But and gambling would be a great thing. I know people are wanting that too. The game's already rated M, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. But then, I mean, you're still, video game gambling can be dicey,
Yeah.
A lot of the time it's pretty simple to kind of get a beat on it. And I mean,
what would be hilarious?
The big way I made money in Red Dead was through poker.
Yeah.
So like, it's pretty easy to figure that stuff out.
It'd be hilarious if the Red Mile was an actual game that you could bet on. Like they would put some kind of random NPC and you'd watch it through like the video screens and you would bet how far they made it or if they made it all the way through.
Yep.
And it would just do a random cycle like that.
That would be
awesome.
Pretty fun. Dude, that would be fantastic.
That'd make the Red Mile way more useful.
That would actually, way more fun. Heck yeah.
And then they'll have a sequel, The Red Kilometer.
Red Kilometer.
So
they wanted the U.S. to switch to metric, and we used it for all of our ammunition.
Exactly. We're giving them back their system.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, everyone American don't hate us.
It's just, this crap, this editorial, just ridiculousness. Honestly, do you have nothing better to do? Write a book.
Hey, Game Rant, I'd love to talk to you about this, so come on the air.
Yeah.
I'd love to debate this topic with you.
Yep. And Anthony Busting, if you're listening, eat me. All right. So
Tiki just asked in chat, although with the Unity, is there even an in-game? No, but in-game's more like, I guess the proper way to put it was getting like most of all the major quests done, and you're already level like 100 or whatever. To me, that puts you in in-game. I think I've been in in-game with my main character now for the last like 8 different Unities.
Right. But I mean, you can't take the money with you when you go through the Unity. So you are leaving behind like tens of millions of dollars. 10s of million credits, tens of millions of credit, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're just leaving all your money behind, so it doesn't really apply to the end game, I guess. True. But it doesn't make it bad. I mean,
well, how about adding to as you go through the Unity, the economy changes so that things become more expensive, resources become more difficult to find, things like that.
Okay, yeah, that kind of plays into something I've been talking about for a long time in this show, is the fact that the only thing that bugs me about Starfield mostly is the static economy. There's no fluctuating prices between systems based on resource rarity and scarcity and things like that. And it wouldn't be too hard if you build in an economy like that to randomize the minimums and maximums of each system or each time you jump. So things would either be cheaper or way more expensive depending. And certain things would be more expensive because in this universe it's more scarce or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that. But getting the foundation work on that done though would be a huge undertaking and would take a lot of time. But I think it would be worth it. But then you got to ask, okay, is that really what players want? Or would they want more quests and ships and things of that nature?
Well, according to Game Rant, who apparently has its fingers on the pulse,
right.
Something that players want, or it's at least something that one dude wants.
And Dark Tiki coined it. Yep, content is king. Yeah, things like building the economy into an actual breathing economy would be really cool and build immersion into the game, but it's not a necessity.
Right.
Which is why I think they didn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, well, they cut the whole fuel use thing and the helium-3 thing from the game. I don't think that, making sure that the economy is realistic or fluid I don't think that was high on the list.
No, I'd imagine not, because that is a programming logistically, it's a blast. We'll just put it that way. And yeah, and it was funny thing is like when we discovered that they cut that out of the game, it became really obvious that it was in there at one point.
Right. Because it tells you how much fuel you're using and stuff like that. You got all these different fuel tanks that take up a different amount of space but holds a different amount of, fuel. So obviously, that was in there.
See, the thing is that I know the system's in the game, probably was never finished, but they have it in there. It's not just a matter of flicking on a switch. It's a matter of making sure everything works properly, a whole lot of testing, but it really wouldn't take too long to get that system working.
Yeah. Well, who knows? We'll see. I'm not sure we're going to see. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to see anything like that, before Fallout 5. Probably.
No, probably not. Or Elder Scrolls. Well, no, that's different. We're going to be getting Elder Scrolls 6 before we get Fallout 5.
Right. And probably Fallout 5 before there's even consideration for a new Starfield. So I'll be like 50, 55 by the time Starfield 2 comes out.
But that's, you need to hire more people. I'm willing to go work for you again. Get more people in there and get these games going in unison. You don't have to have one at a time.
Listen, hear me too. I'm a big ideas guy. But I work remote and I'm not moving to Where's Bethesda Studios at?
Maryland?
Boston?
Bethesda, Maryland.
Bethesda, Maryland.
Mm-hmm. They've got a really nice place. Last time I was out there, they put on a whole new building in their complex area. And that building was for a testing team. Giant testing team.
The social media manager for that town also seems really cool because every time I posted Bethesda, #Bethesda on Instagram, like maybe not every time, but every once in a while, they would like my post, even though it was like Fallout or something like this.
Well, yeah, that town got its recognition from a game studio. They're gonna
right. So I guess it makes sense that they'd enjoy that.
There's a restaurant on the right on there's a bay that goes to Bethesda Bethesda, Maryland, and there's a restaurant there that is absolutely amazing. And Maryland, they are very prideful with their crab cakes. Yeah, and that restaurant had the best I've ever tasted in my life. It was so good.
Oh, that's awesome. That's stuff I'd never touch.
Really?
I am not a seafood guy. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
I take my wife.
I take my wife. I'll take my wife to Red Lobster and I'll order steak and hate it, but I'll still eat it because they can't cook steak there either.
No. See, I'm kind of a beef connoisseur, so when it comes to my steak, I'm very, very particular.
Yeah, me too. I am as well.
No low quality stuff from me.
It's funny because all my kids like it. My father-in-law will come over, and my wife will make a whole boil, and I'm over here like, I'm just going to eat my cheeseburger.
I love seafood boils. Ugh. One of my favorite cities in this country is Savannah, Georgia. I absolutely love it. I've been to every city in this country at least twice. Major city. Savannah is by far my favorite. And they have the original crab shack there, and it's on Tybee Island, which is right on the Atlantic Ocean. And the best seafood, like crab boil I've ever had. It was so good.
That's awesome. I can't wait to never have it.
But
Can we talk about something else now?
Yeah, anyway, back to Starfield.
Like, the seafood is amazing. I'm like, I hate seafood. Anyways.
Well, I wasn't talking just for you, man.
Here. Whatever.
All right, let's talk about some Starfield.
Sure.
So what I did, we can either talk about me doing an actual challenge character, or we can go into
Yeah.
your experiences. I say we go into your experiences. I'm curious.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, of course, a large chunk of my time was dedicated to
Let me guess, shipbuilding?
trying to, yeah,
Okay.
more specifically, why it wasn't working properly. And I was starting to get this issue. I think I mentioned this on the last episode or the episode before. I think it was the last episode where I was getting this thing where I was putting modules on my ship and then everything was done, but I was still showing the error that not all modules were attached.
Oh, I hate that error.
So you select your entire ship, you move it, and then some of the modules that definitely snap to the ship, even like in a vanilla manner, not even overlapping, were not on there. Drove me pretty crazy. Like for about
Yeah.
5 or 6 hours, I was trying to figure out what was going on. So I ended up having to take a break because frustrated. Because my goal was I was wanting to create a smaller ship, just because I was wanting to use the Aventech Traveler part, and a lot of those parts are so big that it looks weird. Like if the ship is too big, like it just doesn't line up right. So I wanted to build something smaller, make it a little, quote unquote sportier, if you will. And
Right.
it just wasn't coming together. So I ended up taking a break. But when I came back to Discord, I saw the mention of at Hell's Gate,
Yeah.
and,
Oh, really
which
quick
is
on
the
the shipbuilding thing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
after last episode, I downloaded, even bought the paid one for Aventech, got all of them,
okay,
and I had
yeah,
the full intent of building a ship in my Bloodlust campaign, but I didn't
okay.
get to it. But I really want to try. I'm gonna
Well,
just make a full Aventech style ship and make it a killer.
it's really cool. The original Aventech stuff. Okay, because there's definitely a difference in the design of all three of the mods.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
when we interviewed Bryn, he just had the one, and it's got a lot of cool parts, but you can tell he was learning, and some of the pieces, the orientation can kind of mess up the other modules. There's an armor module that's like this long piece that has like a glowing bit in the middle of it. And if you put it too high, even if it's below your docker, it may throw off your docker and say the docker isn't properly placed. And if you put it on the bottom, I had an instance, it was like an invisible wall in front of me trying to get out of my ship.
Mm.
So there's some quirks with it, still some great parts. But then he came out with race yards, and that's definitely more fighter focused. It's a lot. The parts are a lot smaller.
Yeah,
So
I
like
noticed that. I got excited for that part.
yep, there's some wing parts that look really cool, but they're a lot smaller. Now the Traveler's a little bit different. There are a few smaller pieces, but a lot of those pieces are huge, massive, intended for large ships. Not like M class, but they're going to take up a lot of space. So just a heads up, they might not all. I mean, I'm sure you could find something to use all three of the mods, but it's going to be a little bit tricky. Just a heads up. All great parts, but they don't necessarily, go right together.
Okay.
So,
Hell's Gate.
but anyways, yeah, Hell's Gate. So as I said earlier, I'm a old school Doom player. I haven't played the new ones yet. I just haven't. I was big in it back in the day, and as soon as I saw that, I believe it was Nixter in one of the channels mentioned that one, and dude, it's so cool. It's so cool. You go. I mean, it is like it feels so Doom, and it feels so like old sci-fi horror. You have to, in order to start the quest, you have to go by an SSNN kiosk or pedestal or whatever, where they talk about the news, and it comes through as like a piggybacked transmission, so it's all staticky, and you hear this woman talking about, I mean, it's think of any sci-fi horror movie, it's like similar fare. It's kind of creepy, and you get coordinates to find a ship, and I didn't know what to expect going into the ship. But the first, I believe I did, I think I posted this in my pictures on the Discord. So basically, the ship has been totally wrecked, and you go inside, and it's kind of a weird setup. They got it. It's very labyrinthian, and as soon as you get past the companionway where you enter, there's no gravity. So
Oh,
prepared for zero gravity,
not
and
again.
you start seeing bodies, blood splatters all over the place. You have to kind of make your way through the ship. There is kind of a bit of a pucker moment when you open one door because you don't realize what you're walking into. You just immediately kind of freak out, and then you're like, "Oh, okay, that's dead. Okay, great." So, but it's basically this. The premise behind it is that this group of mercenaries were hired to uncover this artifact, which is as it should be on Mars,
Of course, it has to
because
be Mars. Yeah.
that's where Doom takes place. So, dude, it was a lot of fun. It was very cool. You do get down to Mars, and it's like this. It looks like any other POI in the game, like mining POI or whatever. And I recommend, I gotta say, I recommend going through it without your flashlight on. Maybe you might have to turn your brightness up on your TV just a little bit, but go through it with your flashlight off.
Why? Doesn't
Because
like the flashlight on make it a little bit more creepy?
so wicked. No, the flashlight on ruins it. The
Okay.
flashlight off, you have all these like sigils on the wall, and everything's glowing red. And as soon as you walk in, like there's this head hanging from a chain, and yeah, it's super cool. It's not very long. It doesn't take very long to get through, but for fans of the series of Doom, I highly recommend it. It's super cool. We had the kid on here was in here talking to us pre-show, talking about there's 6 plushies you can get. I didn't get any of them because I wasn't looking for plushies. I was trying not to die. You do get an iconic shotgun from the game, as well as the Crucible sword and Doom Slayer armor, which is Doom Guy's armor, which is all really cool. It's a lot of fun.
Is that legendary? Is it like a white style armor?
Gold. It's gold.
So it's legendary?
hmm Yep. That and the sword
The shotgun is
and
too.
the shotgun. Yes.
That thing's got
Yep.
Exterminator on it. 30 plus
Yeah.
30% damage to aliens, which makes sense. Unstoppable
I'm.
force, immunity to stagger, rend, which
Yep.
restores health when killing an enemy. That's crazy.
There's like a couple of different mobs that you're going to encounter throughout that first couple tiers of mobs, and there the shotgun was taken out in one shot, no problem. On normal, the bigger guys were a lot more trouble. I died a couple times. Also, load up on caseless shotgun ammo before you go in, because that's what that shotgun takes. You're going to want that. I end up having
Okay.
to switch to my Beowulf for the big boss at the end.
I've never used shotguns on my main character. I cannot use them on my new character, so yeah.
Well, I don't even have like any points in shotgun. I'm just like, I'm using this because it's awesome.
It's
And it was
beastly.
fun. It's very beastly. It does the job. So, so yeah, definitely check that out. It's free. It's in the creations right now, and it's worth the price of admission. Just make sure it's high in your load order. So I ended up deciding after the whole debacle with spaceships that I was going to go and continue my Crimson Fleet playthrough. I go through the whole initiation, and I get taken up to meet Delgado. I don't know why, but Delgado's the whole issue I was having with missing body textures. This is the first one I ran into in this playthrough. Delgado's like torso gone. He was just a floating head with legs.
Oh no, not one of those again.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm like, no, no freaking way, dude. So I
You're getting the
don't.
best luck with this, I swear.
I swear. Everything just when I think everything's fine, then something else pops up. Welcome to modding. Nothing I have should have been affected. Nothing I had was affecting anything previously. Everything's normal up until I met Delgado, and then that was the weird one. I went down to the lock. I continued, went down to the lock, and at least he was wearing his armor down at the lock, so he looked freaking normal. So I continued with that a little bit. Oh no, actually I saved there because I ended up going up and went into creations, and I ended up getting rid of the rest of the replacers. The one for Andrasia, the one for Sarah, and the one for Noelle. I don't yet know if that worked or not because I'm still working my way through the lock. So until I
Okay.
get back to the key and see Delgado
Yeah,
and
you
what
won't
it's
know.
supposed to be is I won't know.
That's weird that it only affected
Oh.
him though.
Yeah, yeah, only him. He was the only one that I had an issue with. So I don't. I don't freaking know. But
it could have been just a normal game bug if it's that specific.
Yeah. I mean, it could have. It's just, I don't know. Either way. So what I ended up doing is losing my mind in my place in my notes. That's what I ended up doing.
Yeah, that happened.
So I abandoned that one. I decided to go back to New Atlantis to work on my ship issues. Still having problems. So I went into creations and I was going to go to my load order. And all of a sudden I noticed a little tab on the screen that says updates.
Really?
And I had like 6 different mods. Yep. I had 6 different mods, including, and I wonder if this will maybe fix the Delgado issue. Captain's bundle, Companions bundle, the framework for ship categories, and the patch between ship categories and Stroud Premium Edition. Like I had like 5 or 6 of them that were needing updated. So I updated them all. I go back into the game, back into the shipbuilder. Everything worked. So that is a problem solved. That nice. I do not have to worry about. I can still build my ship. That's a win. It was just that the mods need to be updated, and then I double checked the order, and then I went back into the game, and everything was good. So I ended up going back in, and I built my smaller ship, and basically it's just I think I have the control center, I have the workshop, like I only have a couple of habs on it, like just like pretty much bare minimum. I think I got like 7 crew slots on this ship. So very
all my
small.
Ships are so small like that because I never worried about crew. I was just leany, mean fighters that had no defense to save their life.
Well, I wanted to try to make something that, okay, what do I absolutely quote unquote need? I got a captain's quarters. I have the workshop so I can build my stuff. And I got the control center to give me a little just to give me a little boost. And then I use the glassless cockpits, which are very cool, by the way. Some of them are cool, okay, because a couple of them use cowling parts as the basis. The Demos one that I'm using also has that.
Okay.
But then there are a couple. There's like the Hope Tech one is a little more unique. So you have some options, but it's super cool because then you walk in and it almost feels like you're walking into the room for Cerberus and the X-Men. You got your pilot chair right there, and it's just like a circular video panel in front of you that shows you everything outside of the ship. So it's just, I don't know. It's cool.
Still, that makes perfect sense to me because you don't want glass in space if you can help it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, so absolutely.
A lot of sci-fi shows, except for in Star Wars is the exception here, but like Star Trek, for instance, their entire bridge is one giant view screen.
Right. Yeah. Because that's a weak point.
Mm-hmm.
One little breach, you take out an entire section of ship. It makes sense. So, but I was pretty happy with it. And I ended up, because we've been on about this kind of all day on Discord, there is a very particular football game that we'll be watching this week, which is the Detroit Lions versus the Buffalo Bills. So Detroit is breaking out. It's my team, the Detroit Lions. They are breaking out their blackout gear for this game. So I colored it. I called the game One Pride. I used a lot of Traveler parts in that one. And I colored it the same color as the blackout jerseys for the Detroit Lions.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am a Buffalo Bills fan, so we'll see how this goes.
Yep. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be a good game either way. But, yeah. So I'm like, all right, now I'm in a smaller ship, and I'm like, all right, I got to decide what crew I know I have more than 7 crew members on my ship, so I got to decide who goes. And I swear to God, this game, I go in, and, I go and look at my crew roster, and I'm like, all right, keep Ezekiel, get rid of Gideon, get rid of Heller, get rid of Lynn. They're useless. Get Mariska. I got, Andrasia and Sarah and Barrett and Sam.
Yeah.
I got little Cora running around. And I hear Sarah say something. I can't remember exactly what it was. And I turn around. Oh, my God. Sarah's head is gone. It's just 2 eyes floating.
Keeping on with 69 theme, your game is screwed.
That is, yeah, dude, I can't. I'm like, what? I think I'm just going to get one of those, Grav Merc helmets and slap it on her. And
yeah.
So I don't see her face.
No,
I don't know. I don't know. I think the only thing that I can possibly think that could have been maybe the taking out the Sarah outfit replacer did that. It's the only thing I could think. So I don't know. I got a little bit of investigation to do when it comes to mods in my game this week coming up. So we'll see how it develops, and of course I'll let you know next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a living, breathing example of how to be careful with mods on the show.
Yeah, an example of what not to do. I can be used as a bad example. I'm great at that.
Welcome to my world. So, remember on the last episode, I said there's no way I'm going to do the challenge that we were talking about? The pistols only?
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
You did say that.
Well, I wound up doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm having an absolute legendary blast with it. And I decided to go with this character that's completely different than my normal playstyle. I mean, going pistols only is way out of my comfort zone anyway. And I'm keeping it on extreme, by the way. I'm doing it the man style.
Okay. Whatever, dude.
But I did it to where I made him a space scoundrel. I remember that. I wrote this down. I swear I did, too. And the reason I made him a space scoundrel is it gave me the 3 skills that I really wanted. One was the pistols.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it gave me piloting rank 1, and I forgot the other one, but it was 3 that I really needed. So I thought, okay, that makes sense. And it's actually been really funny how people interact with me, because they always look at me as a complete crook and criminal and untrustworthy. It's hilarious.
Oh, really?
But I'm building a character that's completely trustworthy and kind. But I made him an empath. I made him... Okay. Oh, there it is right there. I found it. Yeah, Space Scoundrel for pistol cert, piloting, and persuasion was a starting skill set, so I went with that. He's an empath, extrovert, and wanted. I put one in there to go with the Space Scoundrel thing, and it works. Because when you got both of those, they look down on you so hard, it's absolutely hilarious, actually. Because I made this social character that everyone looks down on.
It's amazing.
There's been so many conversations where that always brought up, like, you're untrustworthy, you're a scoundrel, all kinds of stuff like that is great. And I did... Empath's actually a very, very interesting skill to take. Or, not so much skill, whatever they call them, but...
Trait, or whatever.
Yeah, trait. It's very interesting, because you get insights to these characters when you're in a conversation that really helps the conversation. It actually turns it in different ways. Because you're able to understand their emotional output, basically.
Okay.
And extrovert's a lot of fun, because you get bonuses for being social. So it's going to be the first playthrough, the first game I'm playing where I'm actually concerned about having a full crew, and I'm going to have a full crew.
Okay.
Because I start out with level 1, and I'm keeping my normal mods. I did download 2 different three. I already had one, but I downloaded 2 more.
Okay.
My favorite one, it's basically a 45 caliber, so the ammo for that is very difficult to get in the beginning of the game, because it's not really, you don't really get 45 caliber weapons until later on through level.
Right.
So I have to camp outside shops just to get 30 or 40 rounds. And it's an amazing gun, and I can't think of the name of it. I got the 7-dot, and I got another one that's like the 6-shooter style that I don't unlock until level 15 or 16. 16, I think. So I'm looking for that because they did some really cool... you know what? I'm going to just turn on the game. Look at them. What am I doing? You guys will hear all the sounds of the game, so it'll be in the recording. Oh, and I decided to go with a kind of Wild Western theme with my guy, so his name is Doc McStuffins.
I love that name so much. Also appropriate for episode 69.
Oh yeah, totally. Going while you're social Doc Holiday vibe.
While you're waiting for that to boot up, I do got to say I did get to start using the Great Serpent conversation dialogue choices with Andreja.
Oh, really?
And it is kind of cool. It does kind of feel like you're kind of you're in a space of greater understanding with each other earlier on in that relationship, because you're bringing up like the Great Serpent and everything like that with her, and you're relating on that level, which is important to her.
It is. It's extremely important. That's just one of the coolest elements of the game, in my opinion. So I have my mods loaded up. I'm going to go over my library because it's interesting, because I have, of course, the Andreja outfit replacer, curvy female shape.
Naturally.
It's awesome.
As you do.
I have Aventech Race Yard, Aventech Shipyards, Aventech Suit Power Cores, Aventech Traveler, and I have the Blackout skin for my hard target, naturally.
Cool.
And, of course, the Demog. But one of the ones I downloaded was the Drifter's Hand Cannon.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a 6-shooter, beastly, and they have a ton of different skins for these things. They're so cool. And one thing I was really attracted to was the level of customization you can do to it.
Okay.
So that really...
there's lots of different stuff you can do with it.
You can unlock it to level 16, which I'm almost there, by the way. Oh, right, the Enforcer. The Enforcer is my favorite gun. Okay. I've had it in the game for a while. It's the first time I've actually fully used it, because the mods make there's a ton of mods for it, and it makes it really into a military tactical sidearm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It's extremely good. Love that gun. It's just I had a hard time with ammo. Of course, I have escape. I have glowing ship modules. The Lumi rifle system, which I gave that sniper rifle to Sam because I made Sam my follower because I've never done him before. Don't take that the right way.
Right.
Then I gave him the sniper rifle Lumi because it unlocks level 1, one of the things I don't like about it. And he was killing everything before I can get my kills with my pistol, so I had to take it off of him.
Oh.
Now I just sell them as I get them.
There you go.
I have the observatory that I've never used. I have older sniper rifle SVD, which is a great weapon. And the other pistol I got was the Old World 5.7. That one I have not found yet, but it has even more mod options than my other one. It has over 100 modifications to it.
Oh, wow.
It's nuts. Looks, everything. So I've been really looking forward to that. I got the POI integration project, which is necessary for base mods. I have the quantum stealth operations, but I disabled it because that thing was just overpowered and weird, and it was getting in my way of my loot because their grenades kept showing up instead of legendaries.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you talking about that.
I got the usual Bethesda stuff like the Perfect Recipe, Tracker Alliance, the Starborn Gravity
I haven't played that
I
one
never
yet.
use.
I got that one, but I haven't played it yet.
Which one?
Recipe. The Perfect Recipe.
Yeah, we talked about that. So that's basically my mod loadout, but those 3 pistols was a big thing, and I haven't got 2 of them yet. I have my hotbar is loaded up currently with 6 different pistols, 6 different ammo types. I mostly use. Oh, I got a new one too. I want to talk about. I got a fully automatic one. I forgot the name of it. It's like the Scorpion.
Oh, okay. Like the submachine gun.
Yeah, but it's actually a pistol, so it counts. It counts.
Gotcha.
But the ammo, the damage up on the thing is ridiculously small.
You know what else you should get? Is you can take some with your cowboy, Dr. McStuffins.
Yeah.
There's one called one-handed animation.
Oh, really?
And it's basically it just basically allows you to do cool third-person poses, holding your gun one-handed.
Okay.
Looking like a gunslinger.
Oh, I made him totally into like that Wild West scruffy. I'm looking for a good cowboy hat.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll steal Sam's. And yeah, Sam really is as annoying as I thought.
Okay.
And it keeps on bringing up the flirt option, and I keep ignoring that. We're just friends, buddy. We're just friends.
Relax.
Chill out. I'm almost to the point where I'm starting his story because he told me a lot about his ex-wife or his ex-partner that was Cora's mother.
Right.
Yeah. And I really don't care. But I had the Frontier, and you only have so much crew space, but I'm determined to maximize my crew space. So I had Sarah, Sam. I just recently got Barrett, so I haven't put him in there. And I have the annoying robot. Yeah. So that's been interesting, and having Sam with me all the time has been very interesting. I'm trying to get conversations so I get my buff with him every time.
Yeah.
And there's been many conversations like when you're in Constellation, they have that little group conversations going on.
Right.
Especially after they first discover the Starborn, they have all their opinions you got to choose. My empath and my bonus for extrovert was going nuts because I picked one option. 2 people liked it, 4 didn't. So it kept toggling on and off with my buff for like 5 seconds.
Holy cow.
It wound up being on, so that was good. And I can't find anything. Like, I literally have nothing but white pistols, white quality, because and I'm paying attention to the actual name of them now because we know the quality of them.
Right.
But I'm a low level. I'm level 14, I think, in the game right now.
Okay, well, do your... Well, I was just gonna say, if you go do the Ranger quest line, you get a couple of different pistols, including the Deadeye, which is a solid pistol.
I didn't even think about that. I was trying to decide which one I'm gonna do first, and I think I'm gonna do that one first. Fits with Doc McStuffin, so why not?
It does indeed.
I did mostly the main story at the beginning, and yeah, I have died probably 30 or 40 times. So if I went by Mossy's suggestion of getting 1 life per level, I would have had to remake this character 6 times over. It is not easy doing pistols, especially in the beginning of the game. I had that situation where I was in that space station, that first space station you go to in the beginning of the game with Sarah, and you got 2 different...
Nova Galactic.
Yeah, Nova Galactic, thank you. I ran out of ammo halfway through on everything, so I was picking up weapons or ammo all over the place and using whatever ammo would fit whatever pistol I had. Just trying to squeeze them out. And then letting
that's
Sam
a pretty big
take
one.
them out.
Yeah, I had to end up picking up enemy guns just to have something to shoot in
And I was
that one last time I
eating
went through.
everything in sight because I had no med packs left. I think I went in there with 6 or 7. That was gone after the first 2 fights.
Oh, wow.
I went through that entire thing with 1 health bar and just trying to maintain it because it doesn't increase anymore because I don't have my main who gets health regen.
Right.
It was a nightmare, but I finished off like I was in that red where you hear the heartbeat constantly for the entire last room of that base. It took forever, but it was great.
A tough room too. Yeah.
I've been using a lot of cover. I know Rook talked about this when he was doing pistols only.
Yep.
When you're doing extreme, you got to be very careful. I was going around rooms in different ways trying to outsmart them, and it worked out quite a bit. But the mines were useless. I never walked over my mines. See, I know we said pistols only, but wasn't sure if we could use grenades in mines. I think that's just a given.
I don't see why not.
As long as I'm not using a grenade launcher, right?
It's not you're not. Yeah, exactly. You're not using that for your primary weapon.
Yeah.
That's the way I interpreted it, anyways. So.
Yeah, that's the way I get it. So Lynn, in the beginning of the game, when you first wake up after touching the artifact, she was talking. Heller, and it was like, so, oh yeah, I did make a note in your application. I only made 1 note in your application file. It just says troublemaker.
Amazing.
So when I started this character, and it's interesting how there's some things that you miss in the beginning of the game. Because when you go through New Game Plus, you skip all that. You don't see it anymore. So I've only seen it a couple times. And I was watching them put their jump packs on, and it gave me like a different perspective of the jump packs and how they're using them. It was kind of weird. Because I'm just used to having it on and just going because I'm always solo in these games except for Andrasia.
Right.
And she talks about how much easier it is to do a mining job in Freestar systems because there's so much less regulation and red tape than the United Colonies. That just...
Right.
I don't know why I didn't pick up on that before. It was just interesting.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I'm an idiot.
What?
I need to correct myself from a previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
Vectera is a part of the Narian system, which is 100% firmly in Freestar space. It's not on the far left side of the map like I thought it was. Okay. I'm a dummy. So there you go. Moving on.
I had to retract many things on this show. In the beginning of the game, really suggests that the game was originally designed to be a lot more survival based than what it was at release.
What do you mean?
How they when you're walking through the mine, the original first mine, they're talking about how important helium is to be able to jump from system to system, and how they used to mine it just so they could do jumps and get place to place, and how it's just this basic but important resource, and it's very much a resource gathering tutorial in the beginning of the game.
Right, that's true.
But you don't really do that very often. Like I don't gather resources at all out in the wild. I buy them when I need them.
Right. You don't even have an outpost working that's like extracting and auto and all that stuff?
I usually get that one on Bezel 3B and for iron and aluminum and just for leveling purposes, but that's about it. I mean, I had huge systems of outposts that were gathering resources, every resource I could find, and did that for a while, but didn't make sense to do it anymore, so I stopped doing it, and I mostly did it to do that help video.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And on this character, I'm definitely going to be getting all my weapon crafting, so I'm getting all the research for weapons as much as I can, and I'm going to do suit mods for the first time. I never touched them on any of my characters before.
I've always thought about it, but I never did. Yeah.
I went through them, and it looks like it could be very, very useful. I just never did it. So I'm putting points into that stuff so I can get my weapon mods and suit mods done. Focusing on weapon mods first.
Well, I mean, the suit mods would be great considering you need the extra protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my luck is in full force, by the way. The first weapon I found that was not common was a legendary. It was a legendary Grendel. Absolutely sweet stats, but I can't use it. So I sold it.
Bummer, man.
I should have gave it to Sam. I just didn't even think about it. And then I've found nothing but melee weapons since. Blue and epic quality and legendary. I've probably found about 20, maybe 30 different high quality knives and swords and stuff, but no pistols.
Than you actually need.
Yeah, and I did put a note in for the Galactic Star Yard. I just missed it. Yeah, and by the way, Heart Plus was my saving grace in Galactic Star Yard.
Oh, was it?
Because it gives you like 200% damage reduction.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it saved my neck. And I was actually going into full military style of checking my corners, clearing rooms properly.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And
but you're a man, so it's all good.
Yeah.
You're a man, so.
Doing it man style. That's what it is.
Man style. Man style, which does not sound weird at all.
So when you rescue that guy who's drifting, he gets hijacked and you have to get the artifact off from him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it kind of struck me as odd that we're sitting there leaving this guy severely wounded with a ship that we completely disabled, full of corpses floating in space, and saying thank you.
Yeah, I thought about that the last time I went through with him, too. I'm like, he'll be fine, right?
Right?
He'll be fine.
If he gets
I'm
hungry,
sure.
he's got food laying around.
Star parcel will come through, maybe. Yeah, that is kind of weird.
And I'm back to completely using every credit I earn to buy med packs and ammo. That's it.
Yeah. Does that all take up weight? Do you have it set so that takes up weight for you, or no? No.
No, not at
Probably
all.
is smart.
Yeah,
Probably
because
smart.
that would be too much of a survival thing right now. I think I'm at 18% bonus XP.
Oh, okay.
Or I wanted to
That's
do
still pretty
24,
good.
but yeah.
I think I'm at 14. Yeah.
I put a note in our notes that it doesn't make any sense to me at all because I typoed the entire thing, so I'm going to just go away from that one. Oh, no, I remember that. There's a pretty good pistol that you could buy called something sidearm, because I typoed it. And it's from that first shop you can go to in New Atlantis that's right off the ship port.
Diviston Mercantile.
Yeah. They have a
Okay.
blue quality pistol that's really, really good. It's something sidearm. Cheap. So I bought it up. It's like 5,000 credits.
Oh, okay.
It was my primary weapon for a while because I could never get ammo for my favorite weapon.
Right.
Yeah, the Enforcer. It's just, yeah.
You can craft it, can't you?
Not yet, no.
Oh.
I got to unlock it by research.
Right.
And I did, actually, before, I think a couple days ago when I was able to play, I did unlock the 45 caliber, but I don't have the resources to make it.
Gotcha.
Can't find them.
Yeah, of course.
Well, there's something else I want to talk to you about. When I was with Sam,
right.
and right after the Starborn show up, he starts talking about when he asks to talk to you.
Yeah.
He says that he's heard of Starborn before through ghost stories that old timers say at some of the dive bars he used to go to.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That struck me as very interesting. And I was kind of trying to debate or figure out a way to like have some kind of debate on it, but I don't know. It was just very interesting, and I don't know what that could possibly mean, but
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting because, well, there's wasn't it a Starborn that helped develop the grav drive by like going to the guy who? This is where we need Rook.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So I guess that's a possibility. The hunter talks about. Actually, I ran into him at the viewport, and he was talking about how many different careers he's had and how many lives he's lived. And I started thinking, I'm like, how far back does this guy go?
Yeah.
Like when you go through NG Plus, theoretically you're going through Unity to the same time you originally started the game. It doesn't really progress. So has the hunter been like Groundhog Day-ing it this whole time? Or
That's a good question.
has he also traveled through time? And where does the time thing come in? You're jumping across different universes, but where does it come in where you actually travel through time?
Yeah, because every time you start New Game Plus, you always come back to the same time.
Right. So how has Starborn delivered the ability to create grav drive 200 years ago?
Unless they've been in that same universe for hundreds upon hundreds of years, because they don't die.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so little we know about Starborn, it's not even funny.
Yeah. It would be cool to learn.
Sam actually has a theory about Starborn when he on the table, where he starts saying about how he thinks that some scientists, when they first started jumping out into space, went to the farthest reaches of space to explore and started making a whole bunch of breakthrough after breakthrough, and then wound up creating what we know as a Starborn and artifacts.
Oh, okay. So not alien, but us.
But us. Just at a different, far, far away that a whole advanced society was created. And I did wind up doing Escape again, because I love that quest line, and because I really wanted the pistol you get at the end of the game.
Okay.
And I wanted a new ship, and the ship I got rolled to be garbage.
Of course.
Yeah. And I also did the Mantis, because I wanted my suit, and I wanted the Mantis.
Okay.
Ship. So I was going to talk a lot more about that, but we're running low on time, so I'm not going to get into that. But it took me a long time doing Escape, because I forgot some of the details about how to get to the real ending. It took me a while to remember.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I did all that fun. It's been a blast. I'm going to continue doing it because I'm having way too much fun with it. So let's get into some mods.
All right, yeah, I got a couple here this week. I kind of put them in a certain order on purpose because it just makes me chuckle. The first one I got, this one's for Mrs. Kilo. She would love this if she actually played the game. It's called Nova Galactic Garden Halves One by One by Rose Among the Stars, and it is exactly what it sounds like. There's 4 different variations of a 1 by 1 half that is a garden. Bushes and flowers. Each one has a tree in the middle and has a bench so you can sit
Actually,
down
that'd be pretty
and
cool.
admire your little. Yeah, I thought that'd be pretty. This is like fresh air on your ship. So I thought that's just a neat little thing. You can find it anywhere you get Nova Galactic Habs. The next one I have is I think is cool just because this harkens back to a time in our history that I love. It's called Dread Pirates Pulp Fiction by Dread Pirate Murphy. And it adds a bunch of new books to the game based on old Pulp Fiction stories from the early to mid 20th. So you're talking like the original Zorro,
Okay, yeah.
Tarzan, Conan, yeah, stuff like all the old pulp novels that they used to sell, which is just a nice little thing. I'm probably gonna get that one. For some reason, I'm weird. I hardly read any of them, but I like things that say, "Hey, more books." So it's kind of like real
Weirdo.
life. I hoard the books, but I never read them. So we got and then we got this one I thought was really cool, and it's for one feature in particular. It's called Void Alliance Cartel by Mr. Milwaukee 89. And what this does is add the ability to craft contraband. And most notably in this mod, in the description, you can create human organ contraband by harvesting organs from people you kill, which is just fantastic to me because I'm me.
Yeah, no explanation needed. I mean, you can craft
exactly.
Aurora in the game already, but
Right. No, it's all the different. I guess there's like a variety. So, and there is apparently a weapon in there somewhere. I didn't write down the name because it was too long, but apparently it's OP. And I don't know, it says it's illegal, so I don't know if you get caught with it out if that does anything. But check it out if you want more information on that. And then this last one, I didn't even know that there was a useful morgues mod because you got the useful. Yeah, you have the useful infirmary. You have the useful mess halls. That one I do have. And you also apparently have useful morgues. Well, we are getting festive with it because useful morgues Xmas holiday gift by Coradic is an add-on for the useful morgues mod that turns the body bags in the morgue into wrapping paper.
Merry Christmas!
So, Merry Christmas. And that just made me laugh. So that's why I threw that one in there. And that is all I got for mods this week.
That is fantastic. This is going to be a longer episode tonight, but I'm sure people won't complain too much.
All right. Let's get this recording going. Rook's log. I forgot the date. Yeah, it's been entertaining to say the least. Where do I start? The devastation is, I don't know. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If you have not beaten Shattered Space, do not listen to this log. Rook's log. I don't know what day it is. So, I just know I've been running around bad. So I went to talk to the council after getting, what was it that I had to get? I forgot what it was. But I had to get some, oh man, it's been so long. I had to get something. And then they sent me on the last piece of information they needed. So they sent me to the dam. That was entertaining to see just how much they wanted to what's his name? The speaker wanted to continue with the war, or continue a new crusade, because apparently they believe that unless they're at war with people, that they're going to go stagnant and stale and all that good stuff. I don't think they understand that, hey, if you actually go and do stuff, you can survive, build peaceful relationships. If you want to fight people, go fight the Crimson Fleet. They're always looking for a fight. But yeah, so I ended up going to the dam and learned where all these phantoms and stuff were coming from. It's so sad. Then I went to explore the dam. And there are such fanatics that they believe the speaker is the end-all be-all. I could never worship the Great Serpent. I don't know how Sadie does it, because if you go by what everybody's saying, they want war all the time, and it makes absolutely no sense. But found the interlocks, or at least one of them. I didn't feel right killing off the people who were protecting the dam, especially when they said they doomed people up on top, which I'm assuming they're talking about the farmers. So I left the dam. I just took one interlock, left the dam running. That was a harrowing experience because I had to book it out of there too. And there were a couple of times where I got turned around and forgot where I was going. But I got out eventually. And then with the interlock, went back up and I was told, hey, I need to go into the Scaled Citadel. Everybody who knows me knows I did. I went to the Scaled Citadel. That was rough. Very beautiful citadel from the areas I could go. Very beautiful. I would have loved to see it in its full glory. But the speaker is a total idiot. I don't know why why he would be so obsessed with restarting the Great Crusade. But hey, I don't make the rules. I barely follow them. So I went to the Citadel, got all the way up to the top eventually. Well, actually, I got down to the bottom. And this is where I really pissed off the speaker. Apparently, he's trying to make a bunch of phantom soldiers that can teleport almost everywhere. I disagreed with that idea. I shut off the life support to all the pods. And while I'm conflicted in my actions, I killed a lot of people, which is a flip of a switch. Hundreds. But existential crisis aside, that really made the speaker mad. So he threatened me and meet him up on top. Well, I had a fight going up. I'm an explorer. I'm not a fighter. I'm Rook. I explore. That's all I do. And then so I ran, avoided as much conflict as possible, fought what I needed to fight, and got all the way up to the top, where there's this giant gate and the speaker. And because you can't kill the speaker, it makes it hard. I would love to just be able to disappear and reappear when I die instead of dying, you know. That was a hard fight. Everybody wanted to try stopping me, including the zealots. That was weird. I ended up destroying the gate and then running to get out. That was hard. As soon as I got out, boom. So now they don't have a speaker, or at least as diviner, I was able to appoint a speaker because I am a outside influence. I'm not one of theirs. I chose House Mocaf as the new speaker. We'll see how that goes. Then they asked me if I believe they should continue the Great Serpent's War, and I was like, no. Why? This is their chance to make peace. This is their chance to rebuild their city, their people. Just build it all back up. Make this great. I just don't know anymore. Some people are idiots. So I need to go and explore for a little bit. See if I can find any cool things. I'll be back later. Rook's log. This is the next day, apparently. I think I slept a lot. Anyhow, I have been exploring Barunkai. The color of red makes everything interesting. But I did see a really cool thing. I was looking at the planet that this moon goes around, and I saw some streaks of asteroid showers. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Not something you see that much out in the solar systems. What I need to do is finish exploring this planet, then go to other planets, or see what else is out in this system for Barunkai, because I just want to get this exploration done. Because you never know. I could give them their data and be like, hey, look, here's what I found. They might be appreciative. Hell, after I killed the speaker, I thought they'd all be pissed because their Scaled Citadel's gone, but they're not, surprisingly. Though I haven't gone to the good shop. The good shop, the guy always hates me, so. Because I'm an outsider, and he hates outsiders. I get hating outsiders, but at the same point, you're going to stagnate and you're going to not get anywhere if you keep doing that. Anyhow, I've been doing some exploring, Vern Kai. I don't think that people understand just how beautiful that planet is. If the Varun understood just how beautiful it is, then I think everything could be good. But we will see. I hope it goes well. One of these days I'll make a recording while I'm on my exploration adventure. But for now, coming back to the ship, it's probably the best thing. I thought I gotta say, I've made a lot of money here. Because, selling a lot of weapons to a warring people, they'll buy a lot of weapons. But no, I'm probably, while I'm here, going to modify my ship. See what kind of goodies their ship service technician sells. I've never been a fan of the Varun ships. They're too blocky. I can probably make a pretty good fighter out here. Or at least a new exploration vessel. But now that I'm done with the request that they had of me here, I'm still debating upon if I want to go back to the settled systems. But I think I'm going to finish this exploration first. Anyhow, I got some exploration to do, so this will be my last log until next week, however long that takes. That's it for this log. Rook out.
That is it. Kilo, do you want to say anything before we wrap it up, or are you good?
I'd like to thank the Academy.
Okay,
I got nothing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dr. Tiki, would you like to say anything?
Just I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Oh, likewise,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yeah, I think we have one more episode before we cut for holiday break. And that reminds me got to talk about that on the show. So the last episode of the year we're going to be doing is next week on the 19th, which will release on the 20th. And we're going to be taking a holiday break. So there will not be an episode the following week, and we will come back with a new episode on the 3rd. If you want to reach this show for advertising or anything business, please email us, starfieldraw@gmail.com. One of the best ways to get a hold of us for anything, really, is discord.gg/raw podcast. You can message the different hosts privately. We do respond, or you can put it in our message boards. Discord is basically a giant message board of all the good things. We have, I think, in our Starfield channel, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 different channels. They're all different, all things Starfield. That's just Starfield, not to mention everything else in this channel. So discord.gg/raw podcast. It is the place to be. Check it out. Our Facebook is Raw Podcast. Our Instagram
is Raw Podcast 1.
And you can follow us on X at Starfield Raw. And if you feel inclined to follow us individually, you can. You can find me everywhere as at the Wigit, THEWIGIT.
And you can find me everywhere at Kilo Tango 1122.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody, and have a fantastic week out in the stars.
Are you wearing face pants? Because your ass is out of this world.